Hi, everybody, and welcome to the RHAP B&B for the premiere of Survivor 49. My name is Mike Bloom, and we have an entire 2-hour episode to break down. We finally got to see these 18 contestants have their feet hit the sand. A lot more hit the sand, seemingly, in terms of bodily fluid. I don't like to yuck it up here on the B&B, but really put the yuck, considering all the stuff we saw in this week's episode. But, of course, I am not alone here. Listen, we're no Jake and Alex, surely, but Liana, you and I have been chummy for the better part of nearly a decade. Were you feeling jealous getting to watch these two fall in love?
I will say I had the same reaction that Jake did. The moment I saw you, I said, we have a bromance. He doesn't know it yet, but we have a bromance.
I think you could fix my buff a lot better than Jake did for Alex. But again, there's no mirrors out there. The only mirror you can rely on is a hockey player, male stripper hybrid. And who among us, right? Who among us? Well, to welcome in our official coverage here on the B&B, I'm so excited to bring this person in because look, we're going to get into a come from behind victory from the Riz God that involved maybe a little bit of cheating. And this is someone who just broke down a major cheating scandal that happened on the challenge of this past week. Of course, one half of our fantastic coverage here on RHAP. It is the one, the only Ali Lasher.
Yeah, between Rizzo potentially copying off of, not potentially, copying off of Alex's puzzle and the projectile vomiting, there's a lot of challenge synergy in this week's episode. So thrilled to be brought in when there's cheating and vomit.
Arguably more vomiting in Survivor than the challenge this week, despite the fact that the latter actually had an eating challenge.
Yeah, no, some people were, Nicole actually, I think, had to vomit. The vomiting on the challenge these days is sus vomiting. But, you know, I don't know if we're here to talk about sus or legitimate vomiting, but if you are, I've got time.
Yeah, if there is one place to do it, why not here? This is truly the haven to do so. So yeah, this was the official start of Survivor 49. I will say, very fun start in terms of no idle finds outside of, that back and forth at the fight for supplies, no real talk about advantages. So it really gave the lion's share of the time to us getting to know these players. And listen, maybe it leads to a bit more of a straightforward outcome, but I will say, Liana, as someone who got to know these contestants, I think I did relish the opportunity to get to see all of them interact in some very humorous ways, especially for the first 2-hour outing.
Oh yeah, I mean certainly from my perspective of getting to see each of them individually to then now seeing like, okay, who's gonna bond? How are we gonna have these different interactions? Shannon and Savannah being close together simultaneous, like that was not on my bingo card. I did not expect that at all. I think for me, almost though, what was more entertaining was seeing everybody else's reactions to the cast because it felt like mixed reactions even within the 2 hours. It was like the first hour it was like these wackadoos, and then kind of by the end it was like these wackadoos. Like, okay, we're like getting some interesting television out of this. I think it's going to be a very chaotic season, and I think we got these first 2 hours perfectly encapsulated what we're going to get.
Yeah, Ali, I'm curious, whether you'd done some preseason prep or not, what were your thoughts about this first outing from the Survivor 49 cast?
Well, I'm laughing because, as I said before we got on, when Liana texted you about coming out here, I was like, oh, I'm not watching Big Brother. The Survivor really snuck up on me this season, as it often does. And after I watched, I'm more in the Stephen Fishback role. I know he said this on Note. I was like, I kind of arrived to the show fresh. I'm the one who needs the 2 hours to like know the cast members' names. I have since gone back and looked at some of Mike's excellent coverage on Parade to kind of like see. Honestly, I really need to talk about like Savannah's former reporting days. And so I was like, maybe she gets more into this in the article. But it is fun to kind of go back once you've seen them on the show and like fill in the gaps about the preseason stuff. But I was coming into this episode like a newborn baby, and like Jake's future newborn baby, or I guess current newborn baby.
Yeah.
And I really thought it was time well spent. I'm controversial opinion. I'm like against 2-hour television. Like I'm against how long the challenge is now. Like I kind of think we could be doing more with less in certain instincts. Don't hate me. But I thought this was 2 hours well spent. I feel like everybody, with the exception of maybe MC, has making sure that's her name. That's it's like got like a lot or enough to kind of introduce them to us. Like we're not gonna wait for a random spike week 3 and we just like suddenly discover a person like I feel like we used to. So I'm really excited about this cast. I will not let Survivor 50 dull this cast shine. I'm into it. I'm in.
Yeah, I will say that, like, I don't know if this was a top tier stellar premiere. I think there were a lot of fun moments, a lot of very funny interactions. And again, as you both mentioned, some very wackadoo moments that I'm sure we're going to get into. I do see some of the drawbacks that people are talking about online. You know, we did really get to know a lot of these people, but we have sort of had the umpteen story in the new era of like, I was bullied as a kid, and now I'm starting to have this trauma come back. And again, not to say that like, you know, people go through that and that manifests in very specific ways in these very specific circumstances. It is sort of a storyline that we kind of keep going back to in terms of emotionally based confessionals. And the other thing is, again, the outcome was a little more straightforward. You know, when the actual climactic elements comes down to, okay, well, Nicole, who's destined to go, play her 1 out of 6 chance of not going, you know, then you could tell that things were very rote. And that just also comes down to the structure. You know, this is our 9th season in a row doing the 3 tribes of 6. And so, like, I don't really begrudge Kella at all for voting Nicole out. First off, because she's outright puking in their shelter. But 2, because, you know, if you lose the first 3 challenges and you're like, well, shit, we got to plug the leak. Let's get rid of the physically weakest person. Like, even Nicole herself in her exit press has been like, yeah, I sort of get it. And that's really the tough thing about all this, is that just due to the fact that we have gone through this sort of systemic structure in the new era, it kind of automatically sets up for us the like, okay, if X tribe loses, blank is probably the first voted out, just due to having to get rid of strength pretty much early on.
So, Mike, do you think they need an episode 0? Not to bring up the challenge again, but like, because okay, so for people who were really locked in on the preseason press, as everyone should be looking at Mike Bloom's preseason press, but for those locked in, probably the majority, I would guess, of the B&B listeners, perhaps this episode dragged a bit because some information you already knew, you're familiar with these people. It really served more as a meet the cast, I think, than anything really exciting. Good point, yeah. Obviously, like Liana said, it set up some alliances. It set up Savannah and Sydney. Am I using the right names? And I'm like, I really knew the cast.
Well, you got your challenge confused, Sydney and Shannon.
Shannon.
Okay, a lot of S names.
She's gonna be Sydney now forever in this brain. But yeah, it's like it did set up a lot of different ways things can go, but also those are all in the air, right? Because they're not going to tribal. There's like 2 sort of factions on each tribe we're setting up that obviously we'll have to continue to explore. But I wonder if this episode didn't hit as hard for people who were more familiar with the preseason press. Do we need, for the uninitiated with the challenge has a full-blown premiere episode that they just slap on a 0 to, call it episode 0. It's not a meet the cast special, and it's not a full episode where there's an elimination. They just kind of get the introductions and the sob stories and the pre-existing relationships out of the way and call it a non-episode. Do we need that for Survivor and Night 0?
I think
we
for
need
me,
back.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I think for me, it's the way that they're going to tell the backstory. So for example, I like it because, okay, I knew that Jake was going to be missing the birth of his kid out there.
Yes.
So for him to do that in confessional, to me, right, that would be repetitive because I already know it. But him to tell his tribe, that's the most impactful part for me, because now I get to see how other people are responding. I get to know that, yes, he did in fact tell them. And even if people are going to keep things from their other tribe mates, you can have the, oh, you know, I'm in marketing, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the confessional that's like, but I'm avoiding telling this, you know, for whatever reason, this was my actual job. So I think to see it in the context of the larger interactions is valuable to me. But yeah, if it was just like for some reason, was Alex the only one who got like a random shot of him at home, or like
no, Savannah got it as well, which is also very old school. If you remember back in like the first few seasons, and they introduced people like, you know, here's Sue Hawk, a truck driver from Wisconsin. Like, it showed her with like a candid shot, not so candid, of like her arms folded in front of a big rig or something. And they did that with Alex and Savannah, which is so interesting. Was it like because they both kind of work in these professions, they had that footage on hand. Was this like, okay, we're going to send a small camera crew to your place of work when you come back? Hope you're not busy over the summer.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, but why those two specifically? It's kind of like pick and choose, man. Like either you're going to do that for everybody or just like don't do it at all. It didn't feel like that shot of Alex folding his arms was really necessary for me to understand what his profession was. But anyway.
Yeah, go ahead, Liana.
Sorry, for the podcast listeners, I want to say that Mike did the millennial version of like, yes, eating. He just pointed while I was like, yes, very good.
I'm doing like a yes. I'm hitting like on my screen right now. I'm
Toby from
swiping up and
Seinfeld,
down.
really great. Like, yeah.
But I do think it's very comparable because we've all covered RuPaul's Drag Race in the past. Like it's starting to get on the level of like the mirror talk, right? Whenever they're doing like the pre-runway things, and it's like, tell me about what happened to your dog when you were 8 years old. Like it's come out after the fact that it's become incredibly prompted, that it doesn't feel necessarily natural. And that it does feel like, again, as very salient and devastating as some of these stories might be and heartening as they might be, it's kind of set up and executed in the same way over and over again. And again, I feel like much like we're talking about that from a structural perspective of 3 tribes of 6, all you need is 4 and then you're golden. Now we're sort of getting it here with like, of course I tripped on my way to the water well. That reminds me of when, I failed during the big game in my baseball semifinals in 11th grade. Like, it just, to your point, Liana, it feels like sort of an unnatural kind of setup for these things. And not to say that they're not naturally feeling it out there. It just feels like we have kind of, for lack of a better term, hit a kind of Mad Lib form of how these things get set up.
Here's a question. I mean, I'm stoned, so I didn't even notice these sob stories, so like they didn't hit me that heavily. But what did hit me is like how job focused a lot of the introductions seemed, and maybe they always are, but it really was to a level that I don't previously recall about every single person really emphasizing their job and not just saying their current job, but like, Jake wants you to know I'm currently a corrections officer. Let's not discuss that. I used to be a Magic Mike dancer. And Savannah, I'm currently in marketing, but let's talk about my former days as a reporter. I don't understand a lot of the job focus in the intros, but I also, this is a cold as ice take, but I have to continue to come out against people lying about their job on Survivor. And I want to put it to you guys, like, is there a job that you should lie about on Survivor besides International Survivor franchise winner? Like maybe if you won another season, you shouldn't say, but I am ready to say there is absolutely no job that you should lie about on the island.
The adage of it's like, if he wanted to, he would. Right. I feel like it's that way with voting people out on Survivor, right? Like if they wanted to keep you, they would. It doesn't really matter. They can use any justification to vote you out.
That's the thing. It cuts both ways, right? Like Nate says at one point, I'm just saying that I was a lowly PA on Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. They didn't need to know what happened afterwards because the second that they assume that I made X amount of dollars, they're not going to vote for me. So I get on the one hand that your brain can just be riled up with an unlimited number of reasons why people will vote you out. But the downside of that, or the other side, is that there are an unlimited number of reasons for people to vote you out. Like, even if you lie about your job, if you piss people off in the present, your job is now nuisance and you're going to get voted out. So I think that it's people talk about this as well of like, do you really want to come into the game with like one more thing to worry about, right? That like you have to keep up this lie and don't get caught slipping or anything like that. I don't necessarily think it's worth it. I get that, again, people on the surface might be like, oh my God, she's a former reporter. We can't let her get to the end. But also those skills are going to naturally come out that it would just insert that logic with, oh, Savannah's a really good talker. We can't let her get to the end,
I'm more intimidated by someone in sales. So like the fact that she's in marketing versus being a reporter. But in any case, I agree exactly with what you're saying, Mike. Like you're more likely to be disliked for coming off disingenuous in the 90% of the time you guys are making relationships and talking off camera. Like if you are really stunted about your conversations of why being a stay-at-home dad's important to you because you're not a stay-at-home dad, you'll probably come off weird and not make good social interactions. And also, like, look at Mike White. Like, didn't hinder him in the slightest. And people probably want to see them get a cameo in your Marvel movie. So that's way more interesting to have someone to keep around.
I like the idea that there's this sort of peak in the middle of successfulness that it's the most dangerous, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, a lawyer, a doctor, maybe, but then once you get so successful that you're like in the movie business, now it's like, wait, you should absolutely be advertising that. It now becomes beneficial because people are going to want to suck up to you to get a cameo in White Lotus.
Well, then here's the
Wait, you're Taylor
question.
Swift's lawyer?
Yeah,
Hold
that's the
on.
thing. Do you
Oh.
lie then? You lie about your job, but you overstate your resume.
Yes.
That's the Applebee's method, right? Like
Yeah.
the Liz, the I'm rich as hell.
You're like, I'm fourth in line to the presidency. And it's like, oh my God, close to power. Okay, let me cuddle up to you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the next level strategy. See, we're coming up every day on the B&B with the way to do it.
Well, speaking of coming up, I need to talk about the various things that were coming out of
Nope.
Nicole's mouth in this episode.
Oh, no.
I
Oh,
mean,
no.
look, the spit still took me out. I was there in person to watch it. Made even less sense than it did getting. And now Nicole has said in Exit Press that like this was out of context, that Jeremiah had for some reason asked her to spit water in his eye, and she just yes-anded the hell out of it. Maybe that goes to show that she knew she was on the bottom. She's like, shit, I gotta do anything that these people are suggesting me to do. I will spit in your face if you want me to, as long as you don't vote me out.
Has Nicole considered starting an OnlyFans? The very specific subset of content, because clearly it's in demand. Jeremiah asks for it.
I mean, that's the good question, is like, but it's all virtual, right? Like OnlyFans, you're not paying people for in-person services.
I guess you would like do a custom video and spit on the camera, and then the person on the other end would like squeeze a water bottle in their face. I don't
like
know.
4D technology.
I
Exactly.
FaceTimed my niece today, and she put a ball up to the phone, and I said, "Throw it to me," and she threw it at the phone. Like maybe you could do that.
Yeah, exactly. Same idea. Same idea.
If you're gonna Frankenbite something, I know there's like a lot of like editing controversy in reality TV. I love that the editors did this because it was so much better to watch him. Jeremiah just be like,
Yeah.
I have mud in my face, and just boom. Like that's not the sound spit makes, but that was so hilarious that like thank you for manipulating that edit. I appreciate it.
That's the thing. Even she is like, no, it's a lot funnier this way. Like
Yeah.
the editors knew what they were doing. I mean, it quite literally spat in the face of the actuality of what happened, but it's all worth it for the lulz.
So, Mike, you were out there though. How did they get the mud out of their eyes? Like the other people?
So they are able, they can pour water on themselves. There are
okay.
there are some challenge. There are some.
Spit, then who? Like then
If
what?
not spit, then what?
Be the
else
spit you
could
wish
it
to see in the
be?
world. There have been challenges in the past. I've actually run a mud challenge where they set up like a basin of water next to the mat that you could like splash
Survivor's
yourself with.
fake. Survivor's
Yup.
fake.
I know.
They have a
They're
water
giving you
basin.
basins of water, standing water to splash yourself with. Well, let's get into some of the beats from this episode. I don't even know where to start because again, there were just so many pockets of wackadoo aspects going on. Liana, do you have a particular place that you want to go to first?
No, I think that is exactly how I interpreted this episode as well. Like I'm looking through my notes and I bolded things. None of them are like big picture topics, strategy, anything like that. It's like the fact that Jason said, I'm in the TV. I bolded that. I thought that was important for us to talk about.
I did like as well during the Matt chat. Again, Jeff likes to do the thing, right, where he pretends like he doesn't know you to have the person introduce themselves. But for some reason, the delivery where Jason doesn't realize that he's being talked to, he's like, oh, hi, my name's Jason.
Hi, Jason.
And Jeff goes, hi, Jason. Like,
I don't know. That was like the end of the exchange.
Like, I don't know if that's patronizing or trying to meet him on his level.
I also love that too. Jason just be like, I'm Jason. Like, okay, Jason. Great. Nice to meet you.
To be fair, this is all a fever
world?
dream to him. He just found out he was playing like half a day ago at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah, is there a world Jeff genuinely doesn't know his name and did need to like mirror to like I'm gonna remember his name by saying it back to him?
Wait, that's actually so fair given the fact that he was
Oh,
an alternate, right?
You know what it was? Yeah, it's that theater exercise where like you're all standing in a circle. This is going to be very niche where you jump in and you're like, magnificent Mike. And then everyone mirrors the gesture. It's like, oh, that's how I remember everyone's names.
I feel like this cast would absolutely do that. No, but look, I think to me, the biggest story maybe coming out of this episode is Rizzo at the it's not Sweat Savvy anymore. I
Fight
don't know
for
what you wanna-
supplies.
Earn your supplies. So I think that like that whole sequence was so entertaining, so funny. From Alex being like, don't worry, I do the elliptical. Like, okay, Alex, you got this. But Rizzo literally, like, he could not have, the way that he cheated even almost was so confusing, because it was like he took his puzzle pieces over to Alex's to Matt. I was like, what are you doing? At a certain point, isn't it just easier to do the puzzle? I don't know. It was fascinating.
Well, how many pieces could he be missing that would make it impossible for him to get 90% of the puzzle? That was also bizarre. He made it like the 2 pieces in the coconut he didn't open were mission critical to getting any other piece to match. That was crazy.
I mean, this was absolutely wild. Like, this has to be one of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen in Survivor history in general, because think about all the mistakes that Rizzo made in that he was slow bringing the coconuts back. He missed a coconut. He can't do puzzles, and he still won. That is wild. Like, I want to know how long the actual fight for supplies took, because I would imagine they were out there for at least a couple of hours. And if so, like, God, did Alex commit one of the biggest chokes in Survivor history by being able to not dig in the right spot?
I've watched Bachelor in Paradise this season, which honestly was an undertaking in itself. I should be congratulated for that. But they had, on this show that is not about challenges, a like X marks the spot style scavenger hunt that blew this one out of the water in terms of difficulty in like finding the location of something. The fact that Alex, and I get that I don't get it, that you have so much pressure, even more than you do in a normal challenge. Like, you are fighting for one. You're going to go back and potentially be a huge target with or without the supplies. So my sympathy to him. However, it's marked out in driftwood. What do you need to go back to the puzzle map for? What do you need to start digging around outside? Like, maybe they mismarked the X and I'm going to just find it anyway, rather just than, and Rob already said this on Know It All, so I was screaming it at my TV, you are going to have to dig deep. Like, just another foot, Alex. You don't need to run around everywhere looking for this.
The only thing I can think of is, did he like kick the driftwood or something while he was collecting the coconuts? Like, how fixed were those 2 pieces of driftwood that seemingly sandwiched where the supplies were in the sand? Because otherwise, it literally all you have to do is dig, man. All you have to do is dig. And it just baffled me why he wasn't able to find it. And that was the only explanation I could come up with, was the moving of the driftwood.
If he moved it though, like, and I saw like a 3-foot deep hole, I'd be like, okay, something is in this. The hole we saw was he thought they sprinkled like a Zen garden amount of sand from your desk. Like, oh, it's not here. I dusted around the area. Like,
where could it be? If not an inch under the sand.
There's more sand in my shoe when I get back from the beach than he moved out of the area. I was like, that's gotta hurt to watch this back. Sorry to Alex. Sorry to that man.
Do you think they could have used the driftwood to dig? Like, could he have picked up the log and like used it as a shovel? Or do you have to dig with your hands, or as Rizzo also showed, apparently every part of his body, including just his dragging his shoulder?
Wait, I forgot about that. Him shoving his shoulder just like through the sand was so funny. I don't understand why you couldn't use the coconuts, because when we see Rizzo open up that last one, they have like the little curve, like just grab 2 and just kind of like use them to have at least some extra surface area for removing the sand if you couldn't use like the big driftwood or something like that. Like, there were tools for you to use seemingly. So yeah.
I just been crazy.
Please.
He just should have been able to dig it up. Like, what? Like, just dig it up.
It's not that hard.
just dig.
Literally
dig
deep.
And I love again that Alex is expecting the worst, right? To come back so humiliated, and then Jake's like, "It's all right, buddy," and Alex is like, "I don't know you, sir. Thank you for greeting me this way." Because again, Jake has such a preconceived notion of Alex. I do wonder. Because again, I imagine that Jake's going to hide everyone's shoes at some point, right? Like, on a daily basis. Like, is he coconut chopping himself? Like, is he accidentally revealing his pecking order where Nicole was the first one? And then it's like, oh, Annie's next, and then Jeremiah.
I didn't think about that. That actually, yes. If he does that, that would be so funny. I couldn't tell who he was hiding in the next time on when he was going for the next pair of shoes. But yeah, and then imagine what if he grabs Alex's, or it's like his subconscious before his brain catches up to who he's targeting. That could be some serious drama.
Any good prankster, and I actually hate pranks, but any good prankster knows he's got to hide his own shoe next. It's a perfect crime.
That's exactly
like,
it.
Yeah,
you've got if he does not hide his shoe or perhaps Alex's shoe next, vote him out. Like, he has no chance to win the game. Like, he's drawing dead if he can't even properly prank the tribe. But like, yeah, why were we shown that? Just like for goofs, for funsies?
Yeah, I think this is, especially the way Jeff teased it, I think it's a very goofy season. And this is not even when they're delirious from all the heat that's happening. So like, this is the way they're operating now. Just imagine when exhaustion finally catches up. It was probably the biggest surprise of the episode, honestly, for me, was like, because again, Jake had this big 2 competing heartwarming stories essentially within his entire persona. And I thought he was going to be like very wholesome, lawful good, father to be, son to be seen by his blind father, et cetera, et cetera. And then he's like, but I'm also hiding shoes. It's like, where did this streak come from? And I mean, I guess like he feels like he's playing with house money. His wife gave him the permission to play. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to do some stuff for the lulz here.
Who is this man? I went back and I looked. Yeah, he said it was 99% entertainment, 1% chaos. That was his logic behind hiding the shoes. And I'm like, are you that bored already? Like, what is going to happen in 3 days?
Also, when you're in a position like I think would assess himself as having the best position in his tribe. I don't know that you need chaos. Like, that's like something Annie should be doing, Like, I don't know that like the head honcho needs to make a little chaos.
Exactly. Like, oh, I got to really shake up the status quo. When you are the status quo, again, this is like shades of Russell, right? Like, I'm going to control their minds. And it's like, you're already in the lead, dude. Like, you don't need to necessarily also trip up the competition at the same time. You've got a very good head start here.
The other really funny thing from them when we were learning about their tribe dynamics was Alex talking with Annie, because you could see Alex wanting to say mother figure or grandmother figure as he does in confessional, and Annie being like, don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it. That was so funny as well. Good moment.
It's crazy for a like politician who likes to kiss ass, as he says, comms person on Capitol Hill, to botch that so badly. Like, I love working with strong women. I'm surrounded by strong women. My boss is a strong woman of ambiguous age. That's not relevant to this conversation. Yeah, that was a huge swing and a miss for someone who apparently has been planning to find an older woman and get her in there. He's like, you're old. I've been looking for you.
I mean, he literally is that meme of like, try not to say mother for a minute challenge, right?
Or again, grandmother. Like, in his confessional, he was like, yeah, I want a grandmother to work with.
I did look up. His boss is 81, so fair enough. But I was like, is he gonna be in trouble when he gets home? Like,
yeah, but like Annie is like 35 years younger than him. He's like, close enough.
At a certain point in time, right? I mean, Sue was essentially 100. Annie similarly, right? Just some classic later days.
I do believe is Annie the actual age that Sue claimed she was on 47?
Oh, really?
I think so.
That's amazing.
Ancient, basically. The other really funny interaction, to bring it back to Jake, is with Jake and Jeremiah. And I don't know why, but I want to see the full unedited conversation of Jeremiah asking to work with Jake, where Jeremiah is like, would people suspect you working with a gay guy? I just feel like there's a lot to unpack there.
And I think, what was Jake's response? Oh no, but it's not because you're gay.
Yes, that was the best. It would be shocking for me to work with you for myriad reasons.
Yeah. That's not number one, dude.
It's not even on the list.
Yeah, it's just like, what are those reasons, Jake? You want to share those? Please. I want to know.
On a serious note, I did love that from Jeremiah, because I do think like there would be a natural instinct to be like, oh, there's this huge bromance. I'm getting close with Sophie. I don't know that Sophie's close with Jake also. So let me try to connect with Nicole and Annie and kind of make this misfit alliance that isn't sort of bonded by anything natural, just bonded by like, oh, look at how we're scared of these two guys. I thought it was cool to see Jeremiah go to Jake and try to pitch him where he would expect him to live, of like, it would be such a shock, right? I thought like Jeremiah's, win equity in my mind went way up watching him, from knowing zero about him. Watching him this episode, I was really, really impressed with that move. We'll see if it takes, but
yeah, I did love as well, him going to Sophie and talking about, connecting with Jake, and then Sophie responds, well, I'm your number one though, so you have to tell me everything. And Jeremiah said, I just told you.
But why male models? Very that. Like, I just told you.
But I agree though. I mean, it's tough because I think he very much sees that he would be number 4 in this alliance. And so I do appreciate him trying to sort of preemptively make those connections. Like, it's clear he's very in tight with Sophie, but he wouldn't want to force a 2-2 tie if it really came down to it. And the other thing is, how much of these tribe members are already kind of assuming they're a disaster tribe, right? Like, we saw that a little bit with Vula last season. Now, granted, I think they were a lot closer in these challenges than Vula ever really was in any challenge. So I think there maybe is still some hope, especially after getting rid of Nicole, of like, okay, we could still stay in it. But like, if you're trying to plan for the inevitable of a 4-person tribal council, then yeah, you got to start planting those seeds right now.
Yeah, and especially with the game moving so quickly, there's not a lot of time to pivot in those particular situations. So you pretty much have to. And I think we got a lot about the dynamics on both. It's not Kela? Kella. Okay. On Kella and on Uli. I feel like I don't really understand the tribe dynamics so much on Hina.
Yeah, Hina. There's been no like formal alliances formed. It's basically just Steven telling every single person that he's good with them, and then also freaking out thinking that nobody's good with him.
Yes, exactly. And then the super fun generational conversation of Smash Brothers. Is what you do call streaming.
That was incredible. Jason has so many odd people talking to him in this episode, between Jeff's hello Jason and Matt's like, so is what you do streaming? Please tell me. Throw me a lifeline here.
With Jason and MC both being alternates on the same tribe, from the behind the scenes perspective, do the other contestants know Jason and MC are alternates? Like, are they all in the same mess hall? As I picture it, is like a high school cafeteria.
It was a mess alley, yeah. But yeah, to the point where, well, basically they took an original cast photo with the original 2 people, and that's usually when you figure out who the alternates are. So yeah, it was very clear as day, which was interesting because Jason opened up obviously about being an alternate. MC didn't say anything about it on the mat. And I don't know if it's like it was assumed so she didn't need to. I don't know if for some reason she thought like, well, nobody will know, because again, everybody knows.
You were not there.
Yeah, that was interesting that again, Jason chose to be so public about, again, his like joy and the whiplash that he experienced. Maybe MC just more so had her head in the game and was like, nope, all right, Jeff, I'm just trying to move forward as a contestant. Forget what happened the previous week or so.
Yeah.
But I think if everybody knows, there's no reason not to talk about it. Or if everybody knows, then it's like, well, it's already assumed. So I don't think it hurts them either way, because it doesn't really change anything. At the end of the day, they were all out there for Ponderosa. It was just a matter of whether or not, they took that cast photo together or not, right? That was really the only major distinction. So I think they're probably both fine.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ali.
I'm looking inquisitively. I wasn't even going to say anything, but I think the only person I know nothing about is somebody just showing up here, who I'm seeing on my little list here, is Sophie from Hina.
So yeah.
Yeah, she
overshadowed by Sophie Noe.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Noe, but a lot more airtime. Yeah, I think that Sophie with an E did this sort of like generic confessional of like, we're living life right now, we're high on our own supply, we're happy, we love this tribe, etc., etc. She didn't really get a lot of personal content, one of the very few to not in this episode.
How good do you have to be to get cast as someone with the same name as someone else on the show? Like, of 18 people, did they really have no one else that like fit this mold as well as one of the two Sophies? Is that crazy to say?
Well, you
Like,
know
I
what the
kind of think of that on The Bachelorette when there's like Caitlin B and Caitlin C.
well, you know what it is? The issue is Survivor 50. I bet you if the 50 or whatever season it would be was a newbie
Oh.
season, they would have separated the Sophies. We had a Kyle on 47 and a
Mm.
Kyle on 48. And so they're like, shit, well, we want both of them before 50, but like we only have one opportunity to do so. So just kind of squish them together on here.
So should they automatically be like ones to watch? Because like again, even if you want them before 50, how bad do you want anyone? It's like 18 people out of a jillion applicants. A jillion? Is that anyway?
Yeah, that's appropriate number. I think I feel that way. I agree, and I also think that about for some reason all the women whose names start with S. Like there's
Yes.
something in the water, right, between Savannah and Shannon and Sage and Sophie, right? Like there was something about all of them that they were like, put them all together. We like them enough. Like we think they're going to be good enough, or they're going to make good TV, or whatever the case is. That they were willing to have them all in one season because it does get very confusing as a viewer.
I will spoil my preseason predictions a little bit, but I do have a Snakes alliance with some of the S's.
Yes.
Trying to go for that final three.
Yes, I love that too. Wait, I need to look at mine. I think
Well,
I also have.
yeah, keep that open, Liana, because
S's.
I got to hear your prediction about Nicole too.
Yes.
Oh.
Speaking of
Okay.
snakes, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Those snakes don't weigh 200 pounds, do they? Like the actual snake in the challenge. Jeff's, not the women we're talking about, like the snake from the challenge.
I'm gonna maybe reveal a bit of a state secret here. Every time Jeff reveals a weight to future Survivor players, it is an exaggeration. The camera adds 10 pounds. Jeff Probst adds about 200. When it comes to like, this is a 350-pound snake. Like, it's heavy. It's not the weight of like, 3 high schoolers. Like that's maybe it's to make people feel better about themselves or make them feel worse about themselves. Like I can't even lift this 200-pound snake. I was benching 250 back at home. But yeah, it's almost always an exaggerated number when it comes to the weight of any of these things they have to carry around.
I was having a domestic dispute because my boyfriend who's new to Survivor was like, that's not 200 pounds. Like the two of them are just like carrying it like a little bit easily. Like he's like, imagine if that was 100 pounds. And then I was like, well, some of the snake is dragging on the floor. Like if it was less than 200 pounds, they'd be able to lift it clean off the ground. But okay, he'll be happy to hear he was right.
Well, I will say, Mike, giant snake or giant gecko? Which one's better?
The gecko. The gecko was so freaking goofy, and it perfectly set up Survivor 46. And that it was just like this. It was that giant like Beanie Baby sort of plush thing that we all had in the late 90s, right? Like, but just magnified times 100. And so it was wild to watch them navigate, especially because with that challenge, they had to push it up a wall and then hook it up at the top. And then if you were viewing it from the top, it would look like it was staring at the people who were doing the puzzle the entire time, or like talk about all eyes on you. Now you have Big Brother Gecko staring at you. So yeah, the snakes were fun. I feel like the snakes had more accountability because it was 2 people going out. And listen, I love the assonance here of Spectacular Survivor Serpent, so I can't complain about that. But I'm glad we got a sequel to it, at least. I hope that we get more weighty reptiles, more girthy pieces of animalia for these contestants to hurl around at the first immunity challenge.
Pieces was interesting.
That was the one that was the most interesting part. As girthy pieces of animalia.
Well, the pieces suggest dismemberment. Like
I don't know what the snakes were looking like by the end,
Oh my gosh. I'm just imagining that. Now it's like, carry this giant turtle arm up up the ramp through.
That'd be a fun challenge. Yeah, like you bring back all these body parts and then put it together at the end. That's the puzzle.
Yes. Wait, actually, I love that.
All right, Liana, let's get to the woman of the 2 hours here. Let's talk about Nicole. Word vomit for me. What did you have to say about her?
Yes. So here's what I had for Nicole. I did have Nicole in the pre-jury. I said, the love child of Shambo and Boston Rob struggles to make connections on her starting tribe. Making success in this game, only a chicken's dream. After,
Only a chicken's dream.
yeah, you know, like Shambo and the chicken dream. Obviously. After losing immunity, Nicole, figuratively and literally, reads it on Jake's lips that she's the target. Nicole tries to form a counter alliance with Annie and Jeremiah, but they are ready to let the financial crime consultant be sent away for good. Nicole plays her shot in the dark, but it doesn't hit. Her ally was Sia, who doesn't send her money, but does tweet something in support of Nicole, and her enemy was Probability.
Oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
Sia tweeting is a chicken's dream.
Yeah.
It really is.
What do you think Sia would have tweeted? Like, oh, I feel bad for that girl.
Yeah, that girl on Survivor who spit in that man's face.
and then puked.
And then puked.
That was like, again, in an episode that was full of, I would say, fairly predictable things. That was like, that might be the most controversial part of the premiere, for being completely honest. Like, that did not need to be shown, and it certainly did not need to be shown uncut. You know, like, we could have blurred it out just a little bit. Maybe the hand over the mouth helped obscure the amount that the FCC would have come in and like really find them. But still, like, God, that was just visceral, you know?
Puya and I both actively recoiled and went, ah, in response to that. So it was destruction at this household. Ugh.
I would love to hear Puya react to that. Like, I could hear his sound. Like, I could hear the reaction when you said that. Yeah, I like, because I was like taking notes. 'Cause I knew I was going to be coming on here, and I like think I looked away for like a second, and when she was throwing up, I was like, "Why is she throwing up?" Like, there was no warning. She wasn't even like, "I don't feel so good." Like, just nothing, just boom, projectile.
But no, but honestly though, like, champion, like, I love that type of person that's like, I'm going to throw up. Blah. All right, back to it. You know, like, she was not necessarily milking anything. It was not a big lead up. It was as sudden, but she recognized it and was like, yeah, all right, let me just boot and rally here. Not so much rally, unfortunately.
Okay,
right.
Mike, what did you say?
Well, I was there. So Liana wins by default. Though I would say, you know, I don't know if I'd be more off the mark. You were off the mark a couple of points. So obviously with her playing the shot in the dark, with her figuring out, honestly, that she was the boot. Unfortunately, 2 strikes there, and the third one being that she actually went out.
Before you read your prediction, can we talk about the fact that at Tribal Council, was it Jeremiah who was like, yeah, we have it down to 2 people. And I was like, Nicole, Nicole, please pick up on this. Like, that was a flub.
Well, the issue is that this was not new information to her. Like, she knew that there was going to be a 4. So it's like more confirmation bias almost, right? Of like, oh, good job, Jeremiah, really making Annie feel squirmy in her seat. Maybe make her flush her shot in the dark. Couldn't be me.
But then both of them should play it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Even if, like, even in the situation where Nicole thinks Annie's being made to feel comfortable, that wouldn't make Annie feel comfortable. Saying you're down to 2 is like, we were deciding between the 2 of you. It's not, we're all aligned, you know, unfortunately, we're moving forward as a tribe, like, whatever. It's just like, we're between the 2 of you. Both of them should have played their shots in the dark. And honestly, I can't think of why you'd even keep your shot in the dark at that point, because like, it's the most valuable now when there's only, you know, or I guess it's always 1 of 6, but like, there's fewer people to hide behind. You know, it's a 50-50 shot. It's going to be you. And honestly, if you go forward without your shot in the dark, people don't need to make you feel comfortable and blindside you as much. And maybe if you have an idol, it becomes more powerful because like somebody might slip.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's just so not worth it to hang on if you go to tribal on where you'd be the first one out. Like, just play it.
I mean, that's what Rachel did, right? Like, she had an idol, but played her shot in the dark first to be like, do I need to use this? So I agree. I think it's, if you have another asset at hand, it's a perfect litmus test. And it also, makes you a little bit less dangerous maybe in that, like, didn't work out for Mary. She easily got, well, actually, no, it did. Because if you remember back in 48, it was between her and Star. And the reason why they voted Star out over Mary was because she had her shot in the dark, at least partially the reasoning behind it. So like, maybe the best thing to do is to just waste it at the first tribal council, you know, and just say, oh, well, now I'm a little more defenseless. So now you have to, I can only speak the truth, and you can only speak the truth to me, or you can lie to me all you want. But like, I don't have something that the rest of you do, and therefore I'm definitely less of a threat to vote out here.
Here's a question. What happens if can the tribe break? No, I guess not. It's gonna be like, can the tribe break the game and all decide to play their shot in the dark? One person would be safe and the rest would have to draw rocks, I guess, right? There would be a mechanism. Even if you don't have a vote, you still draw rocks.
Okay, but not so it's not. I mean, it is 1 in 6, but it wouldn't be 1 in 6 in the sense that they're pulling from one cup, right? Or would it be that way, right? Because like each would draw individually, like each would roll the die individually. So theoretically, all of them could be safe, but also all of them could be vulnerable.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Jeff, and this might have changed. I'm pretty sure Jeff said in an interview around like maybe 45, 46 that there is only one safe scroll in the bag.
Oh, okay. So they don't from the
replace
same
it.
bag. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I thought they would maybe be like replace it every.
So your
time.
odds increase if more people play the shot in the dark on the same night.
Right, but
not increase. The odds of the audience seeing a safe increase.
Yes.
But it's also the ultimate prisoner's dilemma, right? Where it's like, okay, we're all gonna do this, right? And then it just takes one person to be like, no, I'm actually gonna vote, and then they have the single-handed vote to send somebody home. So you have to really trust in people, right? Like if it somehow got down to Sophie, Alex, and Jake, I could see maybe that's the most likely scenario in this group where they would all agree to do it. But again, I think Sophie would 100% go back on her word.
But you'd still draw rocks. Like it's not like they could say like, now what are you gonna do? Like we don't vote now. So like that'll never happen. But that'd be funny. Interesting.
Yeah, if you like prisoners, yeah. If you essentially strong arm Jeff, if it wasn't the case that they like knew what they would do in that circumstance. But I think you're right, Ali. I think they would probably just make you draw rocks. You're like, really? You don't want to vote? Okay, well here.
Yeah, that's exactly it too. I think it's a little bit of a punishment of like, you deign give away your vote without us explicitly taking your vote away. Pay for your impudence, peons. Draw a rock. Let random draw. You want to do a random draw? Here's another one for you.
Here you go.
Well, I was delighted not only to find out that Ali Lasher would get to come onto the B&B, but the fact that you brought a game. This is such a nice housewarming gift for you to come in and bring something to help fill out the spread. What do you have on offer for us, Ali?
I brought a game that's a ripoff of a game you guys do, so I had no original thought, but I have a Mad Lib, and I'll explain what the content of the Mad Lib is after I solicit you guys for parts of speech, if you will. So let's try to burn through this quickly because there are a lot of them, but I hope it'll be worth it.
Oh, okay.
So, Mike, can you give me an adjective?
Glorious.
Perfect. I guess I shouldn't say.
Liana is already preemptively looking around the room to pick things. I can tell.
Okay, well, this will be easy. Liana, I'm going to go to you for a number.
Oh, okay. I mean 69.
Nice. And Mike, a number for you.
Let's go with 420.
You guys are so edgy.
I know.
So
okay, Liana, can you give me a verb ending in ing?
Oh, spitting.
Okay, I didn't really think about writing. I like put brackets with the adjective. I didn't leave it blank, so we're gonna get there. Plural noun, Mike.
Let's go with sneakers in honor of the shoe bandit.
And then a plural noun for you, Liana.
Coffee beans.
Okay. So I don't like a past tense verb, but I just wrote verb ed. So whatever you say, I'm just gonna add ed to.
Let's do climbed.
Okay. Okay, and same thing, an ed verb, past tense verb, Liana.
Smelled.
Okay. I'm starting to get nervous. Like, what if I had the wrong parts of speech? Mike, another past tense verb.
Let's go with withheld.
You guys are smart. All right, noun.
Sorry.
Because withheld, I'm just like, oh. I'd be like far. I'm like Sage. I'm like poop and
Poop and pee and moon. Well, can I go with smooth brain? I know that I feel like that's just like an object in and of itself. Like I know it's an adjective and a noun, but I'm gonna go with smooth brain.
That is pretty wild, actually, thinking about it, that this woman just peed off the boat on their way in.
Multiple times.
Didn't want to get into it, but like, how is that? Oh, and she said it was a half moon. Like, if you're taking your pants only halfway down, I couldn't do that.
Well, she was, and I thought the joke was that it's more of a half moon because I have my mom's hips. Like, it's because it's like.
Once you see the full moon, like her full butt was exposed, but it was a half moon.
Okay. All right. Verb ending in ing, Mike.
Let's go with bringing.
Okay. Okay. A place, Liana.
Oh, the Costco food court where you get like the hot dogs and the pizza and stuff.
Okay.
Can you write that full thing down?
I have room for at the Costco food court.
Okay.
Okay. And then Mike, a noun.
To go with water.
Okay, Liana, noun.
Oh, a dildo. I'm sorry. That's all I can think of.
Oh my God, children show. No, oh no, child.
Oh no, child.
Oh no, child.
I'm Chad Ochocinco. Okay. Mike, a verb.
Let's go with let's go with punch.
Nice. A plural verb.
A plural verb.
Wait. Okay. Hold.
What's a plural? Am I?
Let me go to AP style guide here. MLA
Runnings.
format. Wait. No. What? No.
Is that a plural verb?
It's a present tense verb that ends in S.
I think it's an adjective. I think it's an adjective. No, I think it's a verb.
A plural verb is an adjective?
Wait, what?
What is a plural verb? Is it two verbs at once?
Okay, it's like, okay, so it is modifying an object. And
so
it's
an
action. Yeah. I think it's but I think it's a verb.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, I could say the sentence.
Don't say the sentence.
Okay, so like,
sentence.
Okay, the race starts.
That's a verb.
Yeah, okay, verb ending in a plural verb.
No. That's one race.
A verb that ends in S.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, to start starts. I get it. I get a plural verb. To sit,
it's not that it's plural, it's just an S. What'd you say? Sorry.
Yeah, like to sit sits. Right?
So do you want to say
does that
sits?
count?
Sits, yes.
Yeah, does that count?
Yeah, I get the good. Sorry, guys. Okay. This I wasn't sure if it was an adjective or a noun. Oh no, I need an adjective and a noun back to back.
Back to back. Let's go with filthy bowl.
I'm so stupid. Okay. Liana, an adjective.
Girthy.
Yeah. It's girthy pieces of animalia.
Girthy,
okay.
Exactly.
Verb.
Let's go with shadow.
Is this taking too long? I'm sorry.
No.
A Liana number.
Oh, 63,489,515.
Okay.
And that exactly. I need it exactly that number.
You don't want to see how I wrote it, but I have 63,489,515. But I wrote it different. Okay, a noun.
Let's go with butter.
Okay. I need some plural nouns. Just shout them. I need just like a bunch of nouns. I'll add S's where I need to.
Okay, perfect. Hemorrhoid cream.
Mm-hmm.
Candle wax.
Oh, I like that.
Slinky.
Gobstoppers. Let's go with ceiling fan. How about Let's go with
Sunflower
Pebble.
seed.
Sunflower seeds.
Okay, hold on. I got most of those. Okay, Pebble. Okay, give me one more noun, or two more nouns.
Uvula.
Okay, that's a good one. And I will go with charging port.
Okay, and then how about a proper noun?
A proper noun is like a person, right?
Or
Person,
like
very important person, place, or thing.
Very important person, place. Okay, all right. Can I say
something you'd
Dwight
capitalize.
Eisenhower?
Dwight Eisenhower.
That works. We like Ike.
Okay, we're wrapping up here, I promise. It is such a mess to look at how I'm going to read this, but okay. All right, verb.
Let's go with tutor.
Adjective.
Slimy.
Okay, you guys are going to hate me. I have verb past tense question mark, so like a verb in ed. I can make it make sense.
Let's
This is
go.
harder than it looks. Shout out to the people at Mad Libs.
doing the Lord's work there.
Wow.
Speaking of which, let's go with prayed.
Okay, another past tense verb.
Licked.
Okay. Okay, the last three I need a verb.
Tuck.
Suck or tuck.
Tuck.
Oh,
Okay. Two more nouns. Gonna count that as one because I said it's the last three.
I don't think that's allowed, but fine. I will go with squeegee and teacup.
Okay, and another. So this is true. So I need a time.
Oh, time. Let's go with 8:36.
Okay. And then a general location. That's the true last one. So like not like I guess it could be any location.
Not the food court at Costco.
Costco food court. Like, is that too
Yeah,
specific?
maybe like
But
a
if you
general
said
location.
like the Sahara Desert, is that too specific?
Yeah, let me go desert. I'll just do desert. Okay, God, I hope I can read this. So one of the things that stuck out to me this week is Jeff's Emmy appeal of why people need to watch and care about Survivor.
Yes.
For your consideration.
So for your consideration, here is a B&B version of Jeff's speech that, yes, I did transcribe this morning. I checked to see if it was available online. If there's one thing that's glorious, that's very glorious, over 69 years and 420 seasons, it's this. Survivor is always spitting. And it's not because of the twists or sneakers. Survivor evolves because of you, the coffee beans. Everybody who has climbed this game before you has smelled the game in some way, and in doing so, they've withheld the game.
You can't have it.
Not for you.
Well, only we can smell it.
Their pursuit of smooth brain laid the foundation that you're bringing on right now. And each of you have your own reasons for being at the Costco food court where you get hot dogs and pizza, your own water, your own dildo, your own story to punch. What complicates Survivor is the minute the game sits, all of your filthy bulls collide because Survivor. I can't even read this. Gifting? Survivor gifting game? That can't be what you said. only one of you will shadow, but it is your 63,489,515 individual pursuits of that butter.
That butter.
A lot of people.
Okay, wait. Can we? Should we use that as a phrase now, a slang term for money? Get that butter.
Get that butter.
Get that butter.
Forget the bread. Get the butter.
Get that butter. Exactly. She's getting bread. I'm getting the butter.
The hemorrhoid creams you each make, the candle wax you each take, that will define your slinky. And underneath all of this is the gobstopper of the paradox of Dwight Eisenhower.
The paradox of Dwight Eisenhower.
You must and will rely on ceiling fans in order to survive in a real desert. And you
That's
must.
very true.
That cracked me up when he was like, a real jungle. Like, for anyone who's like Survivor's like, it's a real jungle.
Yeah.
And you must and will tutor each other in order to win. That is the beautiful sunflower seeds that make Survivor so slimy. Because without that constant pebble and uvula, without charging ports being formed and then prayed, without trust being tucked and then licked, there is no pursuit of squeegee. This is your moment. This is your teacup. And it begins at 8:30. Close. Could have been 8.
Close. Oh my God. Your trust being tucked and licked.
Yes.
If I had a nickel,
Yikes.
if I had that butter. Ali, that was incredible. Thank you.
That's amazing.
That was worth it the entire time. And it was only slightly, less sensational than what Jeff actually did.
I mean, we'll never forget the parable of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Like, that's amazing.
All right. Well, that's going to be a really tough one to follow, but I'm going to attempt here in a very fun, I'm going to admit, bit of a difficult game. I'm going to try to make this easy for you. But you can choose if you want to work separately or collaboratively on this. Because at Tribal Council, Jake pointed out to Jeff that while this may be the disaster tribe, it is a tribe full of unique laughter, as we saw from Annie and Jeremiah.
Oh no, Mike.
And so I have a game that I like to call the past laugh, where how it's going to work is I'm going to play, I would say, a memorable laugh from a previous Survivor contestant. I will give you 3 choices. Don't worry, I'm not throwing you completely to the wolves here. And you have to guess whose laugh it is.
I like RIZGOD want to cheat off of Liana, but I won't drag her down like a 200-pound snake being dragged out of the woods.
I'm already down there
because I'm gonna be terrible at this. When you guys said Mary before, I was like, "Who's Muffin?" in my head, and now I remember who she was. But like, it's not gonna happen for your girl.
Oh, this is gonna go so poorly. I can't wait.
All right, you want to work together then?
I'm down to work together, but I understand if Ali wants to keep the competition spirit alive. But I might ask her to spit on me at some point in time.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see how the first one goes. Maybe when we hear the first one, we'll be like, we need to work together.
Okay. This is the first laugh from a past Survivor contestant. Okay, so
I feel good about this one.
I feel good about this one too. Okay,
so
maybe we can do this.
You want to do that? All right, we're officially going versus here.
Okay, depends. Whose is this?
Yeah, yeah. This is actually the only one I'm gonna get in the entire one. So if I get this first,
you know what? Let's do this.
Give it to Liana because I don't want to get it wrong and feel confident.
No, because when I'm like it's Suri, and then it's like that wasn't even one of the options. I'm like,
yeah. So all right, Ali will abdicate to Liana here. Your 3 choices are Parvati Shallow, Sandra Diaz-Twine, Suri Fields.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say Suri Fields.
That is correct.
Okay, yeah.
Well, call me Jake, because that was a shoo-in. Unfortunately, things get a little more difficult from here on out. So, Ali, you are next. Here is laugh number 2. One more time. Your choices are Thomas from Survivor 48, Richard Hatch, or Zeke.
Ooh. Can I hear the laugh one more time?
Of course.
I'm between Thomas and Richard Hatch. Is it Richard?
It is not.
Liana's
Richard
nodding.
Hatch.
Oh,
it's not?
It is Thomas.
That was a clip that you knew sounded like Richard.
I thought, Mike, I heard it and I was like, I think that's Richard Hatch. And then you were like, okay, Richard Hatch. And I was like, it's Richard Hatch.
Wow, so you even guessed Richard Hatch before the choices were presented.
Yes. Who? But then you said Thomas and I was like, uh-oh.
It does sound a little like Thomas, but it sounds more like Richard Hatch.
Not that I remember.
Yeah, tell Thomas he has resting Richard Hatch laugh.
He really does.
I don't know if that's a compliment or insult. All right, Liana,
Oh no.
It's up to you here. You're ahead 1-0. Here's laugh number 3. One more time.
Are you sure that's a cry?
All right, so for this one, we are going to some cast members from Survivor Blood versus Water. We have Candace Cody, RC Saint Amour, and Laura Moret.
I'm gonna guess RC.
That is correct.
Okay. The choices
her
there
50
were
points.
critical.
50 points to Liana because I was gonna guess Laura Moret based on the options. Like,
Yeah, this was I think one of the ones that I remembered the most is just this.
I don't enjoy it.
There's a 5-minute YouTube video that is just all the cuts of her laughing, and it's the same laugh every single time. So I guess, listen, Abby Maria made her life miserable, but like she had plenty of laugh about it seemed during her time in Philippines.
What's the opposite of a contagious laugh?
Yeah,
Yeah, one that really just deads the air. Like no one wants to be laughing.
non-virulent laugh. It's bacterial laugh. You can't say it.
Bacterial would have been good in the Mad Lib.
There we go. All right, Ali, you are next. Here is laugh number 4.
Oh no. I thought I had an idea, but I don't.
Oh, let me play it again for you. Your choices are from the fantastic season that was Survivor Cagayan. We have Cass, we have Trish, and we have Tasha.
It has to be Trish, no?
That is correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank God.
okay.
Okay. Like,
And again,
Did
I don't know if this is a YouTube poop or not, but there is somebody that has a 3-minute video of just this.
you know, when you hear it, of course it's Trish. But when I
Yes.
didn't have the options, I was like, who the heck is that?
Who is this? How many viewers does that video have? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's
You're
got
sick.
Yeah, it's got at least like 5K or something.
I just want to know.
You're sick.
Well, it's got one more now with Liana. I will say, I am no doctor. I do fear for Trish a little bit because the way she was like inhaling sounded nasty.
Can you breathe? There's something with your lungs that needs to be checked out.
Oh God.
Yeah, like what if
Oh,
someone
no.
contacted Trish afterwards of like, can you come see me? Like I heard you laugh on Survivor and I'm concerned.
Someone on reality TV got diagnosed with mumps or something because like a nurse wrote to them on Instagram. It was like, I think you might have mumps.
What?
Oh.
I wish I remembered the facts of that story.
Was it like a live to tape show though? Because like if this filmed like months ago, they're like, oh, by the way, I think back then you might have had mumps.
I don't know. I literally just only remember that. While we play the next laugh, I'll try to find it.
All right. Well, Liana, you're ahead 2-1. Let's see if you can make it a perfect 3 for 3 here. Here is laugh number 5. Again, one more time. Your choices are Kathy Vavrick O'Brien, Sue Hawk, Tina Wesson.
Can I hear it one more time?
Of course.
Is it
That also might be one of them we need to get checked out.
Kathy?
Perfect score for Liana Boraas.
Wow.
That is correct.
Oh man, that's embarrassing. What's your superpower? Identifying Survivor players' laughs. Apparently,
Listen,
except for
people were
Richard Hatch.
People were talking all about red flags. Like, that's my green flag. You
That's
know,
it,
like
exactly.
you're a woman after my own heart, Liana, if you're able to identify Survivor players solely by the laugh. But yeah, this is the iconic Kathy Vavrick O'Brien ha 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 laugh.
Yes. Oh man.
Well, Ali, you are mathematically eliminated, the best kind of eliminated. But
Fabulous.
you could end on a high note here with the final laugh.
did
Here
you
we go.
find the mumps?
No, and actually don't Google reality TV mumps.
Okay, good. PSA: don't Google
Yeah.
reality TV
Ba,
mumps.
ba, ba, ba. All right. Final laugh for you, Ali. One more time. Okay.
That's a nice laugh. I like that laugh.
It's a nice laugh. I will say it is from the new era of Survivor. Is it Mike Turner? Is it Bruce? Or is it Jake O'Kane?
Oh, play it again. It wouldn't be me if I wasn't like hearing a Bostonian's laugh and being like, I like that laugh. Is that Jake?
That is Jake. You love a lawyer laugh? You love a Bostonian laugh, baby.
I prefer a Boston laugh to a lawyer laugh. I'll tell you that for free. Wow. That's so spot on. Like, no one knows this about me unless you follow me on Twitter over the last like 3 or 4 years. But that really does track. That I was like, oh, I like that laugh.
I like that. That's interesting. So, like, if someone was in a police lineup, you'd be able to tell who was from Boston just saying, hey, laugh at something?
I would have to say, which laugh am I the most naturally drawn to? I don't know that I would be able to identify it. Yeah, I have a career in laugh catching Boston people, I guess.
As a laugh catcher.
It's pronounced Lasher.
Yes. Well, congratulations to Liana. This was a laugh, I should say. And you both were incredibly good at identifying laughs across Survivor. And now we have 2 more to add on there.
And the one that we got wrong, like that one, I'm telling you, Thomas sounds like Richard Hatch. Like that was, if you hadn't put Richard in there, I think maybe there's a universe we could have figured out it was Thomas. But like, I still think that was Richard Hatch's laugh, and you just like mislabeled it.
Yeah, I believe it was Weezer that said, ooh, Thomas sounds like Richard Hatchy. And that indeed was the case.
Yep.
And actually, Trish was the Weezer, actually, if you listen to her laugh.
You're so hard on her. No, you did a great job in the last one, too, because until I heard Jake as the option, when I first heard it, I thought it was Bruce. So, like, you did a great job with the game, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we are starting to bring things to a close here on the B&B, just to put a point at the end of that sentence. But of course, we finish each and every week on the B&B by giving an opportunity to our guest to highlight a charity or cause that is important to them. So, Ali, the ball is in your court. Give us some proper nouns of places we can go if we want to have the ways and means to help support a charity in need.
Can I first do charity for myself and ask you one more follow-up question? One
Please,
more Survivor experience question. So
what an interesting way to phrase. Let me ask a question and let me do some charity to myself.
I think the great Grin Kaplan said charity starts at home, which I never really understood, if I'm being honest, back in the day. But were you there when Jeff carved the starting line?
Yes, I was there. I was very surprised that made the episode. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, like there were a lot of things between the Jason thing and Jeff carving the star line that I'm like, this is enjoyable in the moment. I'm so glad that, I get to experience this and talk about this to other people, because nobody is going to see this on national TV. And Jeff's like, here's our branded Survivor starting line. He dug deeper than Alex did, arguably, in that stance.
Really good. But like it was unfair, right? Like you shouldn't be able to start at the other contestants' finish point. Like for one of the best challenge design show of any show I watch, that was a Floptina. I was like, why are we highlighting this? Okay. So it was just like they hadn't thought about it. What was the
Yeah, I guess so, because or it was like they were maybe going to move something in once they transitioned to the challenge, but they were just sort of like, you know what? I think I could just drag my heel across the starting line here and hope the players don't drag their heels and me getting answers out of them.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Liana.
No, I was going to say, like, it is so funny that there's so much emphasis on the challenges and everything's named and they spend so much energy and effort with it. And it's just like, just drag your foot through the sand. Like either someone was in trouble or they just lulled it.
Jordan Kalish is thinking about the starting line in Survivor Brooklyn. I don't think like they're even dragging something there. They've got a stick. All right. I thank you for that. We mentioned theater exercises in the spirit of the greatest podcast that ever was, mine and Mike Bloom's Tony recap. Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, one of my favorite charities supporting the theater community in New York and beyond. It's a good one.
There we go. And we just heard from a theater kid in the form of Jake. And people were certainly complaining this week of like, cast has too much theater kid energy. And so let's pay that theater kid energy forward and support a very great cause. Ali, thank you so much for kicking off this in style, for dragging your feet across the sand to do this Survivor starting line. It was a great place. You do have now the sand in your shoe that you alluded to earlier. But of course, you are down in the sand with Brian Cohen every week covering the Challenge 41. What would you like to plug from that? Should people be checking out this season?
Yeah, check out CT's Instagram grid where he reposted inexplicably a video of me and Brian doing more promo for the Challenge wrap up than I ever have or ever could. No, honestly, it's a great season. We're at kind of an inflection point where the format has just changed going into next week. So it's a good one. I hate to tell you, if you're not watching the challenge, you're sleeping on a great season. Check it out. Also, me and Akiva talking about the paper inexplicably. Check that out. New girl, old guy. We're still kicking. And thank you guys for having me. As I told Liana when she texted me, the quickest yes I will ever give in this community and beyond, frankly, is a text about the community. I love what you're doing. It is the premier Survivor podcast. It is one of my favorites. I love being here. So thank you for having me.
And we are so happy to have you here. Liana, how's the pal going?
Pal's going great. We are going to be recording our 39th episode, which is wild to think that we are already there. Again, talking about everything ridiculous. We've just started a new sort of series on the Pal where we're talking about Now That's What I Call Music. If you guys remember those albums from when we were younger. So we're going through all of that, of course, talking about all the nonsense, Big Brother, Survivor, and everything else that we're getting up to. Definitely check it out. PuyaandLiana.com.
Okay, wait, so like, are you listening to it back? Are you more so going through the track listing and be like, I remember that song?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Well, no, we're picking our top 3 from each album. So there's a discussion about which song's the best, which ones we feel like truly encapsulated the era. How did that song get on there? Kind of conversations.
Ooh.
So it's very fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, if you missed it, I got the chance to talk with Nicole for Parade. I also wrote not only a big old piece about everything that you may have missed that didn't make the edit from the premiere of Survivor 49, from my experience being out there for the first 3 days. I also basically did it in podcast form with Rob on the patron side of things over the weekend. So be sure to check that out. But of course, it is all about Big Brother at the time that we are recording this. The premiere is coming on tonight, and I will be burning the midnight oil, that candle wax, to talk with the final 3 and America's favorite house guest. Thank you, to everyone who has checked out that coverage all season long. Just a little while to go, but I'm very excited to see what tonight is going to provide for us. But hopefully we can provide for you some great coverage of Survivor 49 moving forward, as next week, Liana and I will be back with another guest breaking down episode 2 of Survivor 49. We shall see, it feels like we're probably going to get some idol stuff. I was a little surprised that nobody found anything in the first 3 days. So I imagine we're going to get at least a little bit of that, if not a journey to introduced advantages or disadvantages. And we'll see, how screwed is Kella? If Uli goes to tribal council, what alliance will Savannah choose? What's going on Hina? We shall see next week. And Liana and I will be back with all the fun and games you need, covering it all. Special thanks to the entire team behind the scenes at RHAP for packaging this podcast for your eyes and ears, and Will from America for his fantastic theme song. We'll be back next week covering Survivor 49 episode 2 here on the B&B. Until then, everybody, we'll check you out at your next stay.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.